this video, we're going to meet award-winning James Earnshaw. He has transformed from a salon hairdresser into a globally successful content creator. As Wella Professionals ambassador, James travels the world teaching on stage, collaborating on global trend campaigns, and co-creating new product innovations with Wella. In this video, James is going to be mentoring Terry, a salon owner who's looking to be more expressive with her formulas and techniques to attract new clients and ultimately grow her business. Let's see how they get on.
So I would really like to broaden my client base. I do lots of salon relevant styles at the moment. I feel really confident with that. But what I'm really looking to do is expand my business and find a new type of clientele.
Yeah. And what type of thing do you want to do?
So I really love pastel kind of looks. I don't have many clients at the moment who like that type of thing, so I'd really like to get that out there to bring that type of client in.
Okay, so what's currently stopping you doing this?
I think because I don't have that much of a clientele for this type of thing, it's a confidence issue. I want the look to be expensive. Sometimes these looks can look a little bit cheap, and I definitely don't want that.
How do you find and how are you with intermixing shades?
I love intermixing, but again, because I don't have that pastel client base, I think I could do with some help with that.
Yeah, definitely my favourite thing to do is an expensive looking pastel, so we can definitely do that for you today.
Brilliant.
This looks great. So what is it you want to create today?
So I've brought this along for inspiration. I want to really do some pinks, peaches, pastels, that kind of thing.
It looks beautiful, and you've never do this before then?
No, I don't normally do this type of work.
Okay, amazing. So as you can see, some of my images are on there and I love those looks. And whenever I'm creating a pastel, I never use a pre-mixed one that's already there. I think it's really about bespoking it to the model to suit her skin tone, to make her look the best she can be by intermixing all different depths. So we'll definitely have some fun being quite playful today. And I think my favorite range from Wella, Shinefinity, is key for this look because you're going to get the perfect Instagram pastel, but it's going to look so glossy and so shiny.
Okay, so that sounds amazing, but how do I translate all of this into sectioning patterns, things like that?
So what I tend to do is, obviously it depends on the model. I think you have a model with you, right?
I do, yeah.
Perfect. So I tend to break down my mood board and look at kind of key images.
Okay.
So say for example, like here, I love like the transition and the beautiful blend. And I love, for example, saying here, like how we have the pink into the lilac into the blue, but it's kind of intermixed and blended. And I think, for example, Shinefinity gives such beautiful dimension that will really give you that kind of seamless blend through here. So I think what we'll do is when we look at the model, we'll have a look at her and we'll think how we can create something that kind of has this vibe where you've got like the melt between the three tones, but where they really work in harmony together.
Yeah, I absolutely love the sound of that. As you said, I love the transition looks of these. So it just sounds exactly what I'm looking for.
So this sounds super exciting. I hope the model's light enough, so we'll have a little look who you've brought with you, but it sounds super exciting. I can't wait to do it with you. Okay, so let's recap what we've discovered with Harriet's hair then. So quite a big regrowth that we have here.
Yeah.
But great model, great hair. Natural base of a 7, I would say.
Yeah,
just
I
looking
agree.
through. And then what I've noticed is as you look through, we're quite a bit darker underneath.
Yeah.
Through here, so we have more of her natural colour all the way through here. So what do you think through here looking?
Looks as though she's had a couple of toners previously that might have shifted her natural base in there because there's a couple of warmer areas. She's got a lot of natural regrowth on the back.
Yeah.
So obviously we need to sort that out.
Yeah, definitely. I think for me, what we really need to achieve is that perfect canvas for the pastel to sit on. So I would love to get this to that perfect base 10.
Yeah.
And I think that's definitely achievable with Harriet's natural base, so great model. I think what would also be really great is if we can just make sure, looking at Harriet's hair, taking away this top section and looking underneath, that's quite a bit darker through here.
Yeah.
So I think it'd be really great if we could lift up some pieces through here, quite bold, to get that pop and to get that pastel to stick perfectly.
Brilliant.
Yeah? And then also as well, what I like to do is when I'm kind of looking at a model is I always ask Harriet or the model which her favourite side is.
Okay.
Harriet, you said it was this side, didn't you?
Yeah.
So have a little look at her face shape, have a look how it kind of sits, and you can see as you start to move the hair around, like that looks beautiful on Harriet's face shape. And you know, we're getting some really nice angles here, thinking about the photo, thinking about the content, you know, how we're going to style the hair, how it's going to sit. So I think if we can create a sectioning pattern and a colour placement that we can move everywhere,
Yeah.
I think that would be really great.
Yeah. Brilliant. So I do have a concern. So she's quite light already. So obviously using even more lightener. Do you think that'll be okay? I'm quite nervous about that.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think so many mistakes I see is too high of a developer.
Okay.
For me, Blondoplex is so great that we can go in with 1.9%, 4%. It doesn't have to be super high. We will still get the lift. I think slower and lower is always the best way to go when lightening. And I think what we maybe could do today is use a few different strengths on areas that we need to make sure we get the lift, but also are mindful of condition as well.
Okay.
Okay, so now we obviously have looked at Harriet's hair. I think from the mood board, we remember we really wanted to create this beautiful blend of tones.
Yeah.
So I think let's go in with Shinefinity. Let's lift up Harriet's hair first, because I never like to decide on my toner or my glaze until I have the underlying pigment exposed, until I know how light we are. However, looking at Harriet's face shape, looking at her skin tone, I think her beautiful green eyes, I would love to see kind of more pink nearer to her face through here. So I think if we work with kind of a pink kind of root smudge through here, then I would love to fuse through, like through this, into the more lilac and into the more kind of powder baby blue. I think that would be absolutely beautiful. And I think why that would work so well is wherever Harriet wears her hair, middle, side, straight or wavy, it's going to kind of look different wherever she turns.
Yeah.
So she's almost getting more for her money because she's going to look different from every angle, you know?
It sounds gorgeous.
Okay, so now we've obviously looked at Harriet's hair, we've assessed it. I think what would be great is to have a little think about our shades that we want to use. I spoke before about using Shinefinity, which we love, and I'm not going to be kind of sure exactly what shade to use until we've lifted. I think it's really important to lift the hair, get that underlying pigment, and then make the decision on the exact shade. But just looking at Harriet, again, moving her hair around, side to side, I would love to see something next to her skin tone and eye colour. She has beautiful green eyes, so I think pink would look so beautiful next to her skin.
Yeah.
So I think we work through this root area with more pink, but then before you said you wanted to do something really blended and seamless, so we could fuse through into more of a lilac, into like a blue through the bottom.
Yeah.
And I think that'll look really playful, but also really premium and beautiful. So I think it's going to look great because wherever she moves her hair, it's going to look completely different. So she's getting so many looks in one. Harriet's going to look great.
Sounds gorgeous.
Okay, so now it's time to start the lightening. And for me, like I said before, we really want to make sure that Harriet can wear her hair in any parting. So I'm conscious that we want to make sure we get super light around the face, but also we want to be able to flip it over. So if you look underneath here, we really want to make sure that we get loads of lift throughout here, all through the sides, okay?
Okay.
So I don't know about you, but personally, I'll always foil diagonally.
Yes.
Just because I think it's more flattering to the head shape, and I just think it's just a bit more seamless and a bit more modern. So for me, what I'm going to do is isolate off the parting through the middle to make sure we can get plenty of lightness through here. So we'll section this off through here, making sure I have enough space for my foil. And I think what will be nice when we do this is through the front section to maybe do super fine slices through here.
Yeah.
Then maybe move a little bit further away from the root and work with kind of more textural weave. So we still have a little bit of depth in the root, but also we still get that pop and that lift.
Okay, yeah.
Does that sound good?
It sounds really good.
Cool. Cool, so once I've made sure that is symmetrical, this is going to be like our key parting section. But also remember we said we want to be able to flip it over as well, so I need to make sure that we do
Okay.
the sides. So I'm just going to twist this out of the way. And I think what also will be great as well is to go in with a foiling technique through the front. maybe underneath as well, we'll work with some freehand painting to make sure we get all the lift. Okay, so working towards the side section, I like to think of this as kind of in between highlights and a balayage, so it's not too regimented with how we want it to be, okay? So taking your section through to the ear, we'll just isolate this out of the way. And then what we're gonna do is when we work through the front, I think when you work with classic highlighting or classic balayage, you think maybe I have to take my section like this. I think in this instance, let's work with her hairline and, you know, place some really nice fine slices through here where her hairline is finer,
Okay.
to get that lift. So we're super blonde around the front.
Yeah.
And as we work up diagonally through here, we'll maybe go between like some chunky weaves, some fine weaves. So you still have some dimension through here, but you have like a beautiful kind of lift around the face here. And if you work diagonally, that will kind of do that without even trying. It will naturally sit light around the face.
Sounds perfect.
Yeah. So with the back section,
Yeah.
what we're going to do is take a triangle section through here, okay? The reason I like to work with a triangle section is anything that's on an angle sits more flattering to the head shape, okay? So I don't tend to take my sections kind of straight. What that's also going to do is just allow for any movement on the crown. So wherever Harriet's crown kind of falls, she's going to get a beautiful blonde area through there. There's not going to be any horizontal kind of stripes or lines. So I think if you want to section off through here, we can section this out the way. And then if you section off down from the point of the triangle through to the nape, so we've got two sections, and this is going to be our more heavy painted section.
Okay.
So we're going to see all this just super, super blonde and super quick as well. Okay?
Fabulous.
Cool, and then from the point of the triangle down to the bottom. And then I think what we can do through here, I don't think we need to clip it out of the way. I think let's just braid it through to the end just so it's really clean. And this, just so we know when we're highlighting and painting through the top, that this is gonna be our kind of saturated section underneath to get maximum impact underneath, okay?
Okay.
So I think a good, nice, clean way just to keep it out of the way without clips being in.
Okay.
It's just a braid through there. Okay, so our super quick and easy sectioning pattern is in now. Now it's time to get started. Let's go and mix up.
Great.
Okay, so we have our blonde Olplex mixed up. We're ready to go. Remember the sectioning pattern. Now where we will actually start will be through the crown triangle section through here. And the reason for that is the hair is slightly thicker and slightly darker through this area than it is through the front. We are going to paint through this with our freehand technique afterwards. And what we're going to do to catch that up is just use different developer strengths, okay?
Yeah.
So we're actually going to go in with 1.9% with our blonde Olplex.
Yeah.
Just to get a really soft, gentle lift through here, okay?
Okay.
And what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our section in like this. So we're gonna go diagonally to the one side. We could go either side, it doesn't really matter. But what that's gonna do is just kind of create a nicer blend. And also it's just gonna mean that wherever she wears her crown or her parting, it's gonna sit really nice, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so what we're gonna do is take our weaves, and you kind of want to go somewhere in between like a natural and a textured weave. So something where you are still going to get lift because the section's quite fine, but also not super, super delicate as well.
Okay.
So I'm going to go through with my blonde Olplex. I'm going to saturate over this middle section. And I'm actually pretty much going to ignore any of the lightness that's in there because we're only in with 1.9. And it does need some lift and shift through there as well.
Yeah.
I'm going to paint that down through the hair and just visually working with wherever I see it needs lift. Once we've saturated that through, I'm going to take my brush and just feather the product up towards the root, okay?
Yeah.
I think about an inch away from the root is really nice, but almost like feathered up with the product, okay? And then I'm happy to just leave out the ends if we need to. Okay?
Yeah.
So we're going to continue this. Taking our diagonal section here. And again, working with that weave that does have some texture through here. And it's now when you look in the foil, you can really see how dark some areas of her hair are compared to the front. Again, just painting over where it's slightly darker underneath. And again, the key to getting maximum lift, to me, isn't necessarily the developer strength, it's actually the saturation of product.
Yeah.
So I'm making sure that you almost can't see any of the hair underneath and it's just fully saturated.
Okay.
Yeah. And then again, just no more product. There's hardly any product on my brush. Just feather the product up to the root through here. Done.
So do you think your lightening service is as important as the toning service?
Yes, I think for me, you need to have, especially for like the perfect clarity in your pastel and for it to look super expensive, I think the placement of the lightness is really important, you know? Almost areas that you leave out is just as important as the areas that you lift. So where you see depth, where you see lightness, and also how to get the maximum lift, you know? So we have that perfect underlying pigment for the pastel to sit on. So that's why this service is so important, to make sure that the hair is light enough in the right areas, so the lightener will stick and the toner will stick to kind of where it needs to. Okay, so this is our second section at the front, and to me the front is like the most important, you know, when she moves her hair around, we really want it to look seamless. So I've gone in with a super, super fine slice. Her hairline is quite fine, so we don't want to go in too heavy, okay?
Okay.
I've just saturated my product through the middle, and then I'm just using it and just gently feathering up through there, but then really saturating. And can you see how we have minimal product through here, saturating into more product through the mid-lengths? So you're naturally going to get more of a transition and a blend.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're going to keep working up through here, just creating the most lift and the most delicate hairline we can. Once we get past the finer hairline, we're going to start to introduce a slightly different technique. Just to keep a little bit of depth where the hair's darker. But what we need to do is keep assessing as we go and making sure that the hairline looks great. I also like to step away, have a little look at how the hair looks forward and back, just have a little move around and think, if this was lifted out, do we want like this closer, do we want it further away? Because sometimes we can just be like going like so close that we forget it's not a classic set of highlights. It has dimension and lightness in certain areas. Okay?
So I noticed when you're putting the lightener on, you're keeping your brush flat, you're not changing the angle. Normally I see people change the angle of the brush. So why do you do it like that?
Yeah, for me, I don't want to see, with my section through here, I want to see the lightness quite evenly around the face. I don't want it to be higher or lower. We want this to be quite even through the front. So I'm not taking my brush on this section. What I'm doing is just using the product I have through here and literally just pushing it further up the hair gently. And that way you just get a more seamless blend, but also with a more even lift result.
Okay.
So with this front section, again, I'm bearing in mind that she has soft baby hairs through here. I don't want to just leave that out and just start here because we're going to have quite a bit of depth through here. So this is where it's going into working with Harriet's natural hairline. So I'm just taking my section through here, kind of working diagonally back. And this is going to be different on every single person because it's obviously about making sure it's bespoke to them. So again, taking this section, I'm going to leave this out through here. And then we're going to pick this up, and this is where we're going to place our lightness. But can you see how fine and delicate that is through there?
Yeah.
I'm just going to slightly weave that out, just so we don't have any marks or anything. Just leave that through there. And then place our foil.
This is such a fine section.
Yes, I think so many times especially around the front, more delicate is definitely better. So I'm going to place one more foil in, and I'm almost going to close the gap between the bottom and top foil through here where the recession area is.
Yeah.
And that's really important to make sure you don't have any darkness through there. So again, keeping that fine section. Just giving it a little push.
So you're just connecting it through?
Yeah, connecting in basically the top and bottom sections. Again, loads of product, keeping that saturation and just feathering and blending it up. And it's really important when lightening, we want it to lift as even as possible, okay? So what we're gonna do now is you can repeat the same on the left-hand side.
Yeah.
Just so we get even lift. So many times we get so tempted to do all of one side, but we wanna make sure that it's as even as possible. So now we can go in on the other side.
Okay.
Okay, so when we're doing this front section, what I like to do, and this is really helpful on the hairline, is to just comb all the hair back and kind of just gently push it forward with your comb. And you'll see here, especially like with a finer hairline, you don't need to, it doesn't need to be like a super straight line or anything regimented. This is obviously visual and working with her hairline. So this is a great way of just working with Harriet's natural hairline. So you can see how, no, that section isn't straight, but that's okay because it's about how it's going to sit in the hair and how it's going to be.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yep.
So you can go through now and continue these like fine slices and then work up like I did on the side.
Okay.
And what's great is those little baby hairs that are almost left out. That's almost as important as the foil that you've put in, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Perfect, so loads of saturation, loads of product, and then use the product on your brush and just push it up. Yeah, perfect. Perfect. Great, so now with your next section, just do what I did, have a little look at the hairline and see where you think it needs to be.
So take another one up the top?
Yeah.
Or do you want one in there?
Yeah, let's go in through here and get this, so we're kind of on a straight diagonal back section, so let's get this one in now. I would go even finer than that as well. It feels so fine, but it's so important around the hairline to get that. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, that's great. It's almost like with this, I find actually the less that you think about your blend, the better. You know, sometimes you spend hours like trying to get the perfect blend.
Yeah.
But sometimes I think it's just visual, saturate through the middle, less product towards the root, and you just get a seamless blend a lot easier.
Okay. I've also noticed a lot of clients coming back in for highlights now, rather than the kind of balayage. I don't know if you've noticed that recently.
Yeah, I think I'm noticing so many people just want to be super light.
Yeah.
And they want to be super light more from the root. And this is like a more modern take on highlights. You know, it's not regimented with this exact sectioning pattern with this exact amount of foils. It's more almost like in between a balayage and highlight, like hybrid together.
Yeah.
And creating that like bespoke kind of modern blonde that just works for them. But yeah, definitely people are loving. And it's great for us because it's more higher commitment, so it means they're going to be back more frequently. So great for a business. Okay, great. So now we can keep working it up. And what we're probably going to do is once we get to the more denser hair through here, is just work with a slightly more chunkier weave. So let's just get going.
Okay.
This is looking so good, so great. What I love about this is if you turn Harriet round, you can almost see how this is going to fall.
Yeah.
There's no like straight line, stop, start, it's all seamless. And that's how it looks more modern and how it's really going to kind of suit her face shape and head shape.
Yeah.
So now all we need to do is just work with the exact same technique on the parting, super fine through the top, moving into slightly more textured weaves through the back.
Okay.
And then we're good. So we've got there, we've done it the foiling technique. I love how it's looking. I can really envision how it's gonna look already. So now for the final part, we just need to get that lift throughout the back. So I have some free lights mixed up. I've actually gone in and mixed the free lights with 9% developer.
Yeah.
Okay, and obviously we have quite a weak developer through the top, so this is lifting really slowly. If you grab that up for me, please. But now we wanna leave this on for a lot less time, so we need something a little bit more quicker. So the free lights is absolutely perfect for that.
Yep.
And for this, it's just about getting as much product onto the hair as quick as possible.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go in, this way, head forward for me. And again, it's like before, I'm gonna take my diagonal back section. So slightly diagonal back here. Clip this out of the way. And I'm gonna hold the hair with lots of tension.
Yeah.
Through the mid-lengths and ends. Take my wide tint brush and just saturate as much as possible through here, okay? So almost like the opposite to what we've just done, where we've been really delicate and taken super fine sections. For this, we want heavy saturation and lift, okay?
Yeah.
So I like to saturate the middle, get loads and loads of heavy product on there. And like we did in the foil, use that product and just push up towards the root. And what that's gonna do for us is just create a really nice seamless blend, but also loads and loads of lift and loads of lightness underneath, okay? Again, we don't need loads of product on top, it's more of a surface paint. But through these mid-lengths and ends, I am gonna go through and make sure that I paint root to tip to saturate that product through. And I'm just gonna rest it there. Okay? So it's super quick and super easy. And that's why we've decided to do this bit last, not first, because obviously this would have been on for quite a long time. Can I give you that as well? Thank you. So again, lots and lots of tension, holding it really nice and firm. Heavy paint all the way through here. This is why I love using the wide tint brush for this as well, it's so quick.
I love how bold you're being with this.
Yes. It's one of those things you have to just trust yourself and just go for it, because it's almost like the more you kind of fiddle around with it, actually the worse your blend is sometimes.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's better to just go in and just get the product on.
So are you taking your sections similar all the way through, or do you use like finer sections towards the crown?
All the way through, I think it's just about, all we're considering here is, again, we're feathering up to the roots. All we're considering here is just the lightness and how it's going to fall underneath.
Okay.
So we just need to get the product on as quick as possible.
Yeah.
And as much as possible as well.
Do you use this technique a lot, using freehand on the back?
Yes, yes. I think the mix of freehand and highlighting is what makes it feel really modern, because highlighting won't give you that pow and that impact through the ends, but this will, so you get the best of both worlds. You get the lift, you get the brightness, you get it all. Okay, so we're just working up to our last section now. Again, making sure we just get that feathering and that blending up to the root. Again, not quite on the root, but close to it is totally fine. If you find there's too much product, you can just use your hand and just dust over it, just to create a softer transition. Then through the ends, we want to make sure we just saturate loads all the way through, so you get the product all underneath as well. So now it's over to you to do the other side.
Okay.
So James, how's it going today with Terry?
It's going so well with Terry. We're having such fun creating the look, and her situation is so typical of many hairdressers. When you're busy in a salon, you're back to back with clients, you don't want to like try anything new because you're scared it's going to go wrong, and when you've got such a busy following of clients, you're like, I just have to do what I know. So it's so typical, but it's so nice to see her come out of her comfort zone and try something new.
Yeah, it's amazing because when you're actually in the salon, like you said, it's one of those situations where you don't want to necessarily try something new in case it goes wrong or your client doesn't like it.
Yeah.
Or maybe you find yourself in a situation where you just don't really know how to take the next step. So what advice have you given Terry then today? Like, how did you overcome this?
Yeah, so it's bringing back so many memories when I was so busy in the salon. What I used to do is actually go in on my day off on a Monday, take in models so I can just spend some time practicing, using new formulas, mixtures, just really trying out new techniques. So I used to always set aside doing that. I'd also sometimes just swatch on hair extensions, different shades, just so I had a visual to show the client, you know, about intermixing, so I was more confident, I was less scared to then mix because I knew what it looked like and I had it on a piece of hair ready. So I think it's just setting aside that time, whether it's after work or day off or, you know, whatever you need it to be, just to kind of give yourself more creativity and more freedom.
Yeah, and it's really interesting what you're saying then about having maybe like a swatch book or like places where you can actually show clients something that's like really visual that they can maybe hold up to their skin tone and eye color, and they know exactly kind of the direction that you're going to go in.
Yeah, and that takes away your fear then, because you know this is 30 grams of this with 5 grams of this, so you know that on the day it's less panicky for you.
Okay, so if you're in the situation now where you're the hairdresser in the salon who wants to attract that new type of client base, what are your like key tips in order to get those clients into the salon?
Yeah, so you have it already, but you have no one to do it on.
Yeah, exactly.
I think for me, social media is such a huge part of my career and our everyday life.
Yeah,
and I think if I want that client in the chair, then it's my responsibility to draw them in and attract them. So, for example, I see so many pages that are just full of balayage, which means that's what you're going to get coming in, you know? So to me, it's about being more playful with my formulations and with my pictures and my imagery to help draw in those creative clients, because they do exist, you know, there are people out there that do want more playful color. So I think it's definitely up to us to kind of make sure that our website, our Facebook, our Instagram, our TikTok just really kind of shows our clientele what we can do for them, you know, on all different hair types, all different colors.
Yeah, just like plaster it across all your platforms.
Yes, totally, totally.
So essentially what you're saying is, and then the best advice you can give is to make sure that you're really prepared, you're telling your clients exactly what the services are that you can offer, and you're really planning time to actually do it as well.
Yes, and I think, you know, if something doesn't go how you planned, then don't worry about it. You know, if you're starting to post new stuff on your grid or anything like that, sometimes it doesn't do well straight away. You have to kind of retrain your audience to kind of want that, you know? Also as well, I just think, you know, don't be hard on yourself if something doesn't come out right. We're all human. And sometimes you might have this amazing post, this amazing color you spent hours doing, and it gets like 3 likes and you're like, oh, or you might be posting this work and you're not getting clientele in like that, but stuff does take time and you have to educate your audience and educate your clients.
Yeah, for sure.
And I've had clients, for example, that were so scared to have any color that it would start with just maybe a Colour Fresh mask in a different color that would shampoo away.
Yeah.
And then they were like, oh, I liked that. Should we do it a bit more permanently? And they've kind of built up to having more confidence. So I just think, you know, if it kind of doesn't work out straight away, don't worry. And the same with color mixtures, you know. Sometimes you might think, oh, it's a bit too dark or it's not enough, but that happens to everybody and we all know how to correct it, so it's absolutely fine.
Exactly. So your bleaching is almost completed. You're just about to start your toning section. So I'm really excited to see what you're going to do next. So I'll let you carry on.
We're on the best bit now, the best bit. So here we are back showing the raw lift. I think it looks so good, don't you?
Yeah. It looks amazing.
Super happy with it, and I'm so happy that I've looked at Harriet's hair all through the sides, and if you look, you can see how that beautiful lift and how soft it is around the hairline. So when she has her hair back, it's going to look so beautiful. And I love how there's still a little bit of depth.
Definitely.
But it's still super blonde, so we've done such a good job there. So now it's time for the fun part, which is the glazing. Obviously, we spoke before about we're going to create a beautiful blend of colour, but is there anywhere that you want to see any colour? What do you think?
I think she would look absolutely fantastic keeping pink all around the front.
Yeah, I think so. I think she'll look great having that kind of soft candy kind of pop around the front.
Yeah, definitely.
And then maybe through the back we could blend between like the 3 colours, so you have more of a blend and then more of a pink.
Yes, yeah, that sounds fantastic.
Yeah?
So I never really know how much pink to put around the front. Do I want to do it in chunky pieces? Do I want to do it a little bit softer? What do you think?
I think for me, if you want to create something seamless, working for more of a zigzag sectioning is better. So I think, for example, if we take this section towards Harriet's face here, have a little look and see, and have a little visualize of the styling. And I think that would be really a nice amount to go with.
Okay.
Yeah? Then we can maybe go down past her hairline, through here, and then diagonally back here. So then all underneath will be pink through here.
Yeah.
But then also when she flips her hair over, she'll get that. I think if there wasn't enough, then you lose that focal point through the front.
Okay.
So you definitely need to make sure you have enough of a focal point through the front.
Okay.
So that's our front section on, and we've almost treated this like we treated the lightness. We've worked with Harriet's natural hairline rather than being like, it has to be a straight line through here. We've kept it quite soft because again, Harriet's hairline is quite finer, so we don't want it to be too liney or anything like that. We're working with that, okay? So now it's the fun time, and we're gonna go straight through. I'll put the roots on, and I'll start it off, and then you can do all the blending, okay?
Okay.
I mean, you know it looks good when it looks like this already. So it's going to be a good one. So I'm going to go through all through here. I'm just going to pop on a root application using my Shinefinity shade. Now this is the pink shade. And again, I'm not too worried about it being too regimented. We want it quite soft and we want it to be perfectly blended. So the more irregular we can be with our application, the better here. So the first thing I want to do is just separate the back of Harriet's hair from the front. Okay, so I've completed the root smudge through here, and you can see this seamless blend. With Harriet's natural base being so light, one of the main reasons I've gone for Shinefinity is it's not going to lift her natural base at all.
Yes.
It's not going to have any hidden surprises when this toner fades away. So now it's up to you to work with these other formulas through the back. So I'll spin Harriet around. You can see how we have that beautiful soft pink on the root. I think now we fuse through to that lilac formula that we came up with earlier. So if you want to go through and start underneath and start blending that through.
Okay.
And I think what we do is we blend through this mid-length into the purple, okay?
Okay.
So what we're going to do now is my top tip is to just place a foil over the top. Okay, that's just going to stop when we place this forward any spotting or anything like that, okay? So now we've placed that foil in, I'm going to take my section, and the section doesn't have to be too thin because we're really going to take our time to blend that through, okay?
Okay.
But I mean, look at that blend already. So we can now just clip this out of the way up here and then work through this back section through here. Okay, so we already have the root colour on, which is the soft pink. So I'm going to go through each section now and make sure that it's really, really saturated with product, which it definitely is. Once I'm happy with that, I'm going to comb it down and we're going to work through into our lilac, okay? Now, what's really important with this is the placement of the tone. Now, they need to be colours that work in harmony with each other.
Yeah.
So we know that fusing from pink into a lilac is going to be beautiful, and then a lilac into a blue is also going to be great.
Yeah.
I'm never going to try and fuse like a purple into a green or something because you're going to get like a muddy colour in between. It's really important when doing this that you think about your tonalities.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
Then we're just through with the blue on the ends. Again, Shinefinity is so soft that you're not going to see it straight away, so make sure you apply plenty of product.
Yeah.
Really blend the products together. And then once you're done, place it onto a foil. Done.
Okay.
Okay? Perfect. And now just use your 2 fingers and really blend those colours together. Okay, this is looking so good. So while you're blending away, let's just recap what formulas we decided on, because we've been discussing so much on what to do. So the beautiful soft pink we have on the root is 0965, which is one of my favourite shades. And into that we added a couple of grams of 0465. And the reason for that is whenever you want to intensify a tone, I always like to look within the same family of product and in the same family of shade. So 0465 is just a very deep pink. So intermixing a few grams of that into it is just going to make sure that the pink is just super soft and covers that lightness.
Yeah.
Then what we have through the middle is the soft lilac, which is 0961. And into that we added a tiny bit of 06 stroke 6. So again, just increasing that violet through there, just to make sure that you have that beautiful lilac tone. And then finally on the ends, we have this beautiful powder blue, and that is working with 08 stroke 8, 089 booster with a little bit of the 0 stroke 00 clear. So what's really great there is we've intensified it with the blue booster, but just made sure it's really soft bad and clear in as well.
Okay, so I'm so excited to see how this is going to come out, and I've already got some clients in mind who I think are going to love this. It's quite a dramatic transformation, so what would you suggest if I wanted to do a little bit of a softer kind of introduction into this kind of look?
So I think what's so great about Shinefinity is we also have like the natural palette as well. So for example, 0905, so super soft silk blush, is also so beautiful to use because it's super, super soft, and it's just that very gentle hue of pink. Almost in the light, you just see it slightly. So you could work with more of 0965 on its own into 0905. So you just have a very soft pink introduction. Okay. But once you start your clients off on this, they'll be wanting more and more every time. Okay, so I don't know about you, but I'm obsessed with this blend of tone already.
It is looking fantastic.
The blue is so beautiful.
It is.
So beautiful. So now the last thing we need to do is just apply straight from root to tip is our pink formula through the front, so we can just get on and do that. Okay. Then we'll process from 10 to 15 minutes, rinse, and we are done.
Great.
So we've rinsed off the Shinefinity colour now, and you can see it looks so beautiful. So now it's just time to condition.
So there's no need to shampoo after Shinefinity, we can just go straight in and condition the hair?
Yeah, so it's personal preference to you. What you want to do, you don't need to shampoo or condition, it's just whatever you feel is needed. Okay. Obviously all the antioxidant, everything like that was done before, after the lightening service. So this is super easy, you just condition if you want to, and then just rinse straight off.
Okay.
So Terry, how's your day going with James?
It's going absolutely fantastic. I'm having such a great time. James is so easy to work with, and I'm learning so much.
So I'm glad you're having such a good day. So what do you think is the biggest learn that you've had from your day with James?
I think that having him help me take my inspiration into actual colour palette, placement, technique, formulas has been the biggest take for me.
Ah, that's amazing. So at the start of today, one of the things that you said to James was when you're doing creative looks, you want to make sure that they look expensive and premium and really, really beautiful. So how has James actually helped you with that?
I think he's taught me how to really personalise a colour for my client, and sometimes the most simple things can be the most beautiful. Okay, so when you go back into the salon, what are you going to do differently? So I'm just going to go for it. I know I have the technical ability, so I just needed that push. So I'm really looking forward to getting back in the salon because I've been so inspired by today. That all sounds amazing. I'm really happy for you. So I know you need to dash off now to make the finishing touches to your model's look. So I'll let you get on. Okay.
Okay, so here is our finished look. I'm so obsessed, I actually cannot cope.
It is actually phenomenal. I just love the colour, I love the styling. I wouldn't normally style it this way, I just love how you've done it.
Yeah, I think for me styling is so important with colour to really show off your colour work at its highest level, and so many times we just quickly blow dry after spending hours on a colour, so it's really important to spend ages. And I mean, just look at the shine from Shinefinity. But what's so nice is the fact that we have like the nice texture. And remember before when we were looking at placement of colour, it's so great because we can move this around and kind of flip it over and really play around with it. And wherever you turn her head, see how this looks completely different now. And it really kind of changes it up.
You look amazing.
Thank you so much for working with me on this look, this dimensional, beautiful pastel using Shinefinity.
It is so gorgeous, and I just want to say thank you so much for helping me today. I have learned so many things from you.
My pleasure, I've had such a great time, and thanks, Harriet. Perfect, thanks so much.